Alondria says she's officially done with Taylor. But is that the truth? Are we buying it, guys? Because Taylor is still in the villa. Obviously, in the last episode, we had that messy Mel challenge. They were both coming for each other, and by the end of it, Taylor said that he was picking Clark. A bit of a humiliation ritual for Alondria, if we're being honest. So now Taylor has said he's picking Clark. Now Alondria says she's officially done with Taylor. Was she really going to be done with Taylor if he didn't say that, though? I'm not sure. They still haven't really had their closure chat, which we know is going to be pending. Taylor feels the type of way after Alondria was calling him out of his name and they're keeping their distance. Then we had this really dramatic vote off. Taylor was the one who got saved, but when it came for Alondria to vote for someone, she didn't choose Taylor. Absolutely understandable. I get that she chose to choose Austin, which I think was quite questionable. I wonder why she didn't back Andrina. Maybe they're not close like that. Fair. But even though I think it's understandable that she didn't choose Taylor after his antics the day before, I know Taylor was a little bit pissed off because I know he felt like, well, you know, I saved you when it was your turn on the chopping block and you can't even return the favor. I think that's just souring the relationship a bit more. In the beginning of the episode, she does talk with Clark and basically says her issue is with Taylor, it's not with Clark. But she warns Clark and she's basically like, you need to watch out. And if you need anyone to speak to, talk to me. And I just felt like that was just a whole projection there, simply because I feel like the general consensus was, aside for a few delusional fans, that Taylor was not being genuine, and he didn't really like that, and he was showing that with the way that he treated her. He barely gave her any affection. Even the way that he was treating Alondria when she came back to the villa. He hugged Nick first. He was avoiding Alondria. Then he didn't pick her. And even though he said, yes, he's still choosing between the two after he coupled up with Clark, he still paid her dust. And she was still there thinking maybe he's going to come back to her. Come on, girl. I don't think this is the same situation here with Clark, who he has shown genuine affection with. You know, this connection seems a lot more genuine than it did with when he was with Alondria. Then we have this whole public voting thing. They did this thing where the public was voting for most to least loyal, trustworthy, best boyfriend material, and Taylor came dead last. And then Clark also came dead last in all of the women's categories. So it seems like the public has made it very clear whose side that they're on. They're on Alondria's side. Taylor's the bad guy. And because Taylor's the bad guy, will he now be thinking, maybe I need to get back with Alondria because taking a risk of my position and picking Clark hasn't paid off for me? And if that is the case, because there's been numerous rumors about his intentions coming into the house, whether it was just to advance his modeling career. Apparently he has a girlfriend on the outside that he's waiting for. If he really did do it all just for clout, surely the best play would be going back to Alondria now that he's realized that the public is not on board with his idea of going with Clark instead. And if he now does a 180 and goes back to Alondria and apologizes and begs for her back, will Alondria rebuff him or will she accept? I would say that she would probably take him back because she literally has no other options. She's trying to make it work with Zach. Well, she's entertaining Zach, trying to make it work with Zach. I guess maybe they could just be in a kind of friendship-ish couple till the end. I do think she still has enough fans and support to take her to the final. She has a lot of support. But people do love, you know, lovers breaking up and getting back together. People do love that, and people have been shown to support that. I did have comments from people who were absolutely sure that Taylor was this genuine guy and that he really did care for Alondria. I think if he went back to her, I think they would support. So yeah, I think it all comes down to Taylor, whether Alondria is going to take him back. I feel like there is a possibility of her going back to him, but it would only be if Taylor is the one pursuing and chasing Alondria. I don't necessarily think now after this she's absolutely done with him for good, even if he tried to approach her. But I gotta hear from you guys. Do you think Alondria really is done with with Taylor? And if Taylor was to come back to Alondria, if him and Clark don't work out, or whether he's just thinking for his game plan, he needs to get back with Alondria. Do you think Alondria would rebuff him and say enough is enough, or do you feel like she would take him back? I gotta hear from you guys. Do you think, if let's say Taylor sticks with Clark, do you think Alondra really is gonna leave him alone and that she is officially done? I gotta hear from you guys.